And the biggest reason for that is there's no financial reason to do that or imperative to do that, right? All the incentives in hospital medicine are low length of stay, high cost, high reimbursement procedures, and try to move people through quickly, right?
Yes.
And we can do that in pediatrics if we have the staff, but like the average never works.
No.
Average daily census is the death of pediatrics because we could have 12 patients on the unit in the morning, 24 in the afternoon, and 6 the next day, because that's how quickly kids turn over and get better at times. And how do you staff that? You have to invest in it and understand that it's going to cost money and somebody needs to pay for it. And the payers aren't paying for it. The government's not paying for it and the hospitals aren't paying for it.
So it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
So the children pay for it later, right? The children will pay for it later.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
100%.
Yep. And it's a conversation we have often. And I think the tide is changing. I think even people who are the real academic, whether pediatrician or not, they think money is a dirty word. They don't want to touch money. They don't want to know how their salary is paid. It's just paid because it's paid. And we need to stop being distracted at the national level, the leadership level, and start saying, if there is no money, there is no mission. Because you can be employed by Johns Hopkins. If Johns Hopkins is losing so much money out of their pediatric program, and they got all these general pediatricians that they've hired throughout Maryland, which I don't think is the case, but just as an example, losing money for them, they're going to go, you're all gone.
Yep.
We're Hopkins. The inpatient children's hospital is always going to get referrals. We don't need you, which is different than what the health systems do with internal medicine. I am an internal medicine doctor. They're happy to lose $150,000 a year on my salary because all they need is one hip replacement that I send them and hopefully a heart attack on a young, short 50-year-old, gets stented, and he's going to have cardiac services for another 20 years of his life through the cardiology department, through the cardiac lab.
Yep.
And that is millions and millions and billions of dollars in revenue. And they're like, yeah, I'll make him a loss leader. All I need is one hip replacement, a knee replacement, and a stent. And I made up twice what I pay him. And that's what I think people don't talk about in pediatrics. As a specialty, we can't be loss leaders because there isn't any way to recoup it. We have to be driven by the fact that we have to answer the question that America doesn't want to answer. What is public health?
Yep.
And vaccinations, as much as I'm a pro-vaccine guy, and I think the pediatricians of America are the heroes of the story, more so than your grandfather and Poloffic, because they put those needles in those ties. Okay. But that's a public health service that we've never been paid for.
100%. No,
and it's important, but we need to recognize that's not what a pediatric specialist does. That's a public health service that we did for the country out of our own pocket because it's the right thing to do. We need to ask for money for that.
We do not value anything with anybody who takes care of kids in general. And the amount of time that we spend helping families navigate and cope through the mental health system, through the school system, through the whatever other systems they're navigating through, there's no payment for that.
No.
There should be value for that. There's value in what pediatricians do and what they provide to society, and there's no recognition of that. And that's got to change.